The government shutdown is now hurtling towards a record-tying 35th day in just a couple of hours from now, as the administration says it's decided against pulling $4 billion from other sources to provide those full benefits for the month of November. This is all coming as the top Republican in the Senate over here, that's the Majority Leader, John Thune, says he is optimistic but not confident that a deal could be reached as soon as this week. Thune told reporters, based on sort of my gut of how things operate, I think we're getting close to an off-ramp. There were a lot of conversations over the weekend, and hopefully that will bring about the desired result. My lead source tonight is the Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma, and I think that is the question. Do you feel like there's progress here that is going to end this government shutdown, and when?
Yeah, well, I think the progress is actually political. I think this ends because the elections are over tomorrow night, right? You have the Virginia governor's race, you have New Jersey's governor race, you have the mayor's race that everybody's talking about. The Democrats that I've spoke with have been very clear that they want to open it back up. Schumer was afraid that they open it back up, that they would lose momentum in those races, that their voters would stay home, and they didn't think the optics were good for them to open it back up until after the election. So I think, we've heard, Caitlin, that several Democrats have misspoke by saying that the people are leverage, that it only gets better for them. We don't have to go through the names. You guys have heard all the names. But at the end of the day, this has all been about politics. And so the political elections are over, and they're going to look for an off-ramp. The off-ramp is now.
Yeah, and we'd heard Republicans say in previous shutdowns that shutdowns can be leveraged. J.D. Vance even said it when he was a senator here. But on that, I'm interested by that because some people heard, people say, well, once the No Kings protest is over, once this is over, then Democrats are going to cave. And they have not yet. No one has broken and voted yes. So why do you think Tuesday will be different?
And first of all, we wasn't in a shutdown when Vice President J.D. said that. What he said is that election or shutdowns can be used as a leverage. There's no question.
I'm just saying he argued for it.
I know, but they're in a shutdown right now, and the Democrats, the number 2 Democrat in the House, Caitlin Clark, said that they're leverage. Senator Coons said there was a leverage. Bernie Sanders said they were leverage. I mean, they've had multiple people why they're in the shutdown and why people are going hungry, why people aren't being paid. You see the long lines throughout the airports. They're saying that they're leverage points. That's why I said that it was all about politics. Now, what the difference is, get to your question about No Kings. No Kings, going into that conversation, a lot of the Democrats thought that they would do that. Schumer had told them that he would allow them to vote the following week. After the rallies, though, I think you might even brought it up about in the Hill reported that the Democrats feel like now their neck is in a guillotine that they can't let up now. And then as the optics continued, now this is from my friends that are senators that are Democrats.
You're saying Democrats told you this?
Yes, Democrats. And now my friends that are senators that are Democrats are now saying that Schumer has told them. And one of them, I haven't talked to Dick Durbin themselves, but one of them said that Dick Durbin pushed Schumer on this, and that Schumer told Dick Durbin that listen, after the election, we'll let you guys go, let you vote on how you want to vote, and open the government back up.
I mean, they've still said they want the ACA subsidies, so we'll see what happens after the election tomorrow. But on SNAP funding, you're on the Senate Appropriations Committee. Obviously, you know how important this funding is to a lot of people. The Trump administration is only funding about half of it. It's about $8 to $9 billion that are actually needed per month. Do you believe that they should find those funds elsewhere, like they've done for paying the military, like they've done for the WIC program, to fund all of SNAP so it doesn't disrupt the program for people who need it so badly?
There's a difference in the programs and the way they're funded. SNAP was a line item funding, and USDA, we didn't get the flexibility to react to it since it was funded at a certain set amount. You take DOW, Department of War now, and we give them a lot of money to be able to flex in a time of emergency. Instead of just appropriating line for line on certain projects, we allow the flexibility in a case of emergency. So the Department of War was able to shift those funds because not paying the troops is an emergency. SNAP itself is very specific. I mean, you see how much we fund it. We debate on the amount to fund it every single year. And so that's why the courts were conflicting if the president had the authority or not to do this. I would suggest that if there was a president when we wasn't shut down, and if we weren't shut down, that the opposite, the opposing side, would probably scold the president for trying to use these extraordinary measures to fund the program. In this case, USDA said they have found some money that the program's not being. The contingency fund though wasn't designed for SNAP. It was designed in a case of an emergency for FEMA, like say in farmland, we had an additional large amount of farm crop insurance or something like that.
Think about these people who get the SNAP benefits.
Right.
If they're only paying out half of it, it disrupts how it gets paid out because they're not getting all of it.
Right.
They may not even get it on time. I mean, what do you say to the 240,000 people in Oklahoma who rely on SNAP benefits?
Well, I would
Should
say
they
the
not find
Democrats,
a way to pay all of it?
It's an easy way to pay all of it, Caitlin. Open the government back up. We're not asking the Democrats to do anything they haven't done before. Vote for the same CR they voted for 4 other times. That's simple. Why they're trying to put the blame on the President of the United States by saying that he should fund it? We are the funders of the government. We control the purse strings. Congress does, not the executive branch, the legislative branch. The best way to make sure those programs are funded is that we open the government back up.
Okay,
We're going to vote tomorrow for the 14th time for an opportunity for the Democrats to open it up. And guess what? Not half, but 100% of the SNAP program would be funded if the Democrats voted yes.
Well, and the president has started calling to get rid of the filibuster to basically bring this to an end. That was basically change the requirement of how many votes you need to get that passed. He said, get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the votes are not there. Which one do you agree with?
That's correct. The votes are not there to get to get away with the filibuster. I get people have a knee-jerk reaction and want to have extraordinary measures. The Democrats wanted to get rid of the filibuster. We wanted to get rid of the filibuster in the past. The truth is, it's there to protect. But if you look at the difference, why the Democrats wanted to get rid of the filibuster and why we do, we want to get rid of it, and the president wants to get rid of it so we can govern. When you start looking at the Democrats, what they would use it for is they would use it to pack the courts because that's why they tried to get rid of it last time. They would use it to federalize the elections. They were open about that in 21 why they wanted to end a filibuster. They would go after fossil energy. They would go after making Washington, D.C. a state. There's a difference between the way we want to govern and the way they want to change politics.
But when Democrats had the majority, they didn't get rid of the filibuster. So you're saying
no.
you want to keep the filibuster?
I'm saying the filibuster has a place because we probably wouldn't. I mean, chances are we need to win elections all the time. But the truth is, we probably won't always be in the majority in the Senate. And when we're not in the majority, we enjoy the filibuster.
Right, and that was Kevin Cramer's point. He basically said that had the filibuster been gone, that it would have benefited Democrats way more than it would have benefited 100%. Republicans.
But there's an argument that the president is trying to make here is like, if we're going to be in a shutdown and be dysfunctional, if the Democrats are going to continue to be disruptive and put politics over the people, then we might just need to start looking at what the filibuster rules are. Maybe there's some opportunities for us to look at that limiting the filibuster in the case, like just throwing some stuff out.
But you're against that.
If we were to look at it in a sense to say, if we were to look at it and say that, hey, okay, after the government is shut down for 10 days, maybe we could have limited ability to open the government back up and bypass the filibuster. But to do it with the filibuster as a whole, I don't think that's the right move right now.
The president has been asked twice in the last 2 weeks about a recent pardon that he signed for the founder of Binance. He goes by the name CZ, including by me 2 weeks ago and then again this weekend by 60 Minutes. This is what he said. Today you pardoned the founder of Binance. Can you explain why you chose to pardon him? And did it have anything to do with his involvement in your family's?
Which one, who is that?
The founder of Binance. He has an involvement in your own family's crypto business.
I believe we're talking about the same person because I do pardon a lot of people. I don't know. He was recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that, are you talking about the crypto person? A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything.
Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that. And I heard it was a Biden witch hunt. Well, here's the thing. I know nothing about it because I'm too busy doing the other.
But he got a pardon.
But he got a pardon. No, I can only tell you this. My sons are into it. I'm glad they are because it's probably a great industry, crypto.
Should the president know who he's pardoning?
Well, I don't know anything about this one. That's the first time I've seen that. But I would say the president has the authority to pardon people. and that's within his realm to do it. So I'm not going to question who he pardons or who he doesn't pardon.
But the argument from Republicans is that Biden used an auto pen for pardons and that he didn't know who he was pardoning. I mean,
Well, we
Trump
know
is
that to be
openly
true.
saying he did not know who he was pardoning.
Well, he said it was recommended to him. That's what he said. It was recommended to him. He gets a lot of recommendations. And he pardons a lot of people. That was his words. If you talk about the difference between Biden, his pardons were an auto pen. That's not even up for discussion.
But Biden also knew. I mean, he pardoned his family members. He knew who they were.
Well,
So just
that was one of how many thousands did he pardon? My point that I'm trying to get to, Caitlin, I'm not trying to avoid the question. I don't know anything about it. It's the first time I've heard about the pardon. The president has a right to pardon who he wants to. I guarantee he signed the pardon himself, not an auto pen. And I know he has to take recommendations. That's what we all do. You take recommendations. I take recommendations. We got a great team that works around us. He's got a great team that works around him, and he trusts them. He trusts them good enough that if he thinks, I mean, you heard him say that if they think they need to be pardoned, then he'll sign the pardon. If he thinks they need to be dug in farther, then they'll dig in farther. He has the right to question whoever he wants, but he also trusts his team around him.
But would you want to know who you're pardoning if you're pardoning someone?
I'm not the president of the United States, nor the governor of a state. I'm a senator, one of 100.
Senator Markwayne Mullin, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.